In this video, I'm going to talk about the strings, what strings I use, what tension, and all that. It's a very popular subject really, and many people get to ask me so many times what types of strings that I use, and especially the tension. Now before we get into that, I just want to mention point by point, starting with the type of strings. As you know, there are flamenco and there are classical types of strings, and maybe some people sometimes even they ask me like, do you have to use flamenco strings to play on the flamenco guitar? That is it better or not? The answer is really no, really it's the same. It's actually the same. Even I'm using now the classical strings. These are classical strings, but I'm using on the guitar, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Some flamenco strings have certain different material they use on the treble, like Paco's sound sometimes. If you notice, there are some trebles that are distorted. I'm not sure what material or what happens there, but yeah, these strings are probably only used for flamenco. But in general, you can use perfectly the classical strings on a flamenco guitar, no problem at all, okay? Now for the strings that I use, I am currently using the no block set, the ones down there in the logo. I have the pack right here, but I'm not sure it's going to be visible from there. This is the no block actives, classical guitar strings, as you can see from here, double silver and nylon set, low tension, lowest tension actually, this one. These are the ones I'm using now. Super good strings. The most thing I like about them is the durability. Just really forget about the advertising or anything really. As you can see in the videos how they are sounding, it's nothing to do, like if I can say they are sounding amazing, but the videos speak for themselves, no? So really they're really sounding good, and the thing I like especially about them is their durability. They last so long. Like you can put them and you can leave them for, like for me, I usually have to change like every week or week and a half. The strings are already done, so I have to go for another. But actually with these, I'm being able to keep them for like 3 weeks or 1 month even of practicing, and they still have a certain sound until I can go for the next. Really, it's super good. Now for the tension in general, as you saw before, I used the low tension strings specifically for this guitar because it's a little bit bigger scale, so to compensate with that, I put the low tension strings. But apart from that, there are two reasons why I use the low or medium to low tension strings. The first thing would be for the playability, on the right hand mostly, and the left hand. But the right hand, I like the feel of the string when I'm playing with a little bit slightly lower tension, let's say. And if I need more tension, I can go a little bit more to the back. Usually playing at home, it's easy to control that. It's easy to have this type of tension, works perfectly. But when I'm performing, much higher, let's say, energy comes out, and I have to play it stronger for some reason. But still, I keep the same strings. I just find myself playing more from this side. Also the left hand, the legatos are much easier for me. I find that I can do more or better sounding legatos when it's lower tension. That would be the first. And the second reason would be for the guitar itself. For the tension of the guitar, it's much better. The guitar would be more relaxed. The tension of the top, tension of the bridge, everything would be more relaxed. So you're helping the guitar when you have medium to low tension strings. You're cooperating with it, really. I'm not going to say all the guitars. Let's say some guitars have smaller scale length that you might need a little bit higher tension strings. Obviously, it's okay. But if you have, let's say, standard size, especially 655, I would always go for medium, let's say. Medium to low even still. And then over that, I prefer low tension like this one here. Because this is not going to happen on all of the guitars, probably, but really, if you keep very high, extra high tension strings or very high tension strings for a long time, there is a very high chance or possibility that the neck might start bending with time, because it's pulling all the time with the huge tension, so much tension. So it's really, I don't recommend playing with high tension strings all the time like that. Like I said, it depends on the guitar, but in general, even if I have smaller scale, like 655 even, I'm never going to put high tension strings. I don't like that, okay? Now for the last point, which is going to be point number 4, how to balance the tension. So we have talked about the tension in general and everything, but still, if you buy strings or any type of strings, let's say, as far as I know, I have never bought a pack of strings from any brand that have perfect tension, all of the strings. I always have to fix it with different tension buying. No, what I mean by that mostly would be, if you notice, if you pull the first and the second, there's always a huge gap in tension here between the first and the second when you put the full pack on the strings, let's say, on the guitar. This is a huge issue. The way I do it always, because there's this huge gap between the first and the second, and also the third and the fourth. Third is much lower tension, and then the fourth is much higher, no? In general, I mean. So the way to fix that would be, you have to buy low tension strings and high tension strings, and then you're going to divide it this way. You're going to put low tension first on the first string, very low tension on the first one, and then you go high tension on the second and third, which is what I have right now, and then low tension fourth, fifth, and sixth. This is the tension I go for always. This is for maximum playability. This is the most comfortable for me, and I feel extremely comfortable with that. So like I said, really, now if you have the low tension here, it's going to be pretty low. It's not going to be super low, but it's going to be low enough to be able to compensate with the second high string. If you say here, let's say the second, third are high. So now if I pull this way like this, they are all exactly the same tension, almost, much more matched. And then a small point, the basses are optional. You can put even medium tension if you wish. I like the low tension. I like the feel of the basses when they are low tension. I can feel much more comfortable playing, especially in picado, because as you know, we never go straight up in picado. We never go this way, slightly this way, right? Just like that, small line we go. And when you go to the back this way, this is going to be slightly higher tension. So to compensate with that also, low tension strings it's going to be exactly almost the same tension when you go up this scale like this, from this string to the fourth, here and here, exactly the same tension. So this is just a small extra thing really, but in general also I just prefer low tension strings to play on the basses, even with the thumb, just like that. I like it. Okay, so that would be all for this video. I would be interested in your feedback if you tried it and you want to share your experience, how it went. It would be nice if you want to put in the comments down below. And for me it worked really perfectly. This is how I always do it, so I hope that you find it useful as I did, and hopefully I'll see you next time in the next video. Cheers.